Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk. This is a platform dedicated to you industrial professionals all around. You already know this because you're bold, brave, and you dare greatly. You're solving problems. You know all of this because you are worthy of celebration, and that's what this platform is all about. It is, Detlev, this is the #1 industrial-related podcast in the universe. It's all backed up by data. You can sort of test it, and you can figure... Anyway, we are here, Austin, Texas. It is the OMG Meeting, and it is, once again, a collection of individuals and professionals that are really focused in solving problems, debating those problems, and being able to help all of us succeed globally. Yes, we take them for granted. They are the heroes of this story. In the hot seat, we have Detlev Richter. I'm going to have to ask you to say the company's name. But we're talking digital twin. We're talking about trustworthiness. We're talking about security. And it is important, especially in this world today. Let's get cracking. Say the company's name again.
TWIN.
There it is. It sounds like a candy.
Yeah, I think it's a testing and inspection and certification, and I think TWIN, let's call it, invented the safety for steam engines, I think 150 years ago.
No.
And since then we're taking care about the society, cool. And let's call it, all the technology has some risk, and you have to overcome them, and you have to figure out what kind of testing and certification inspection you need that no steam engine can explode. That was the starting point. And now we are looking about digital twins, cyber security, and all the topics. So it's the same, let's call it, period like it was 150 years ago.
See, what's really cool, I remember when you said steam engine, I remember there were pictures of a steam engine that had exploded, the boiler, and all of you see the tubes, just like, it's just the tubes everywhere. It's a pretty sophisticated solution out there, but I'm glad somebody was out there ensuring the safety. Anyway, but your business has to be booming because there's a lot going on.
Yes, I think the business is booming, but on the other side, I think the challenges are really incredible because we are changing the world from what I call static. The machines, everything, the buildings are static in the past, and we had some control and safety, security was achieved on paper with some checklists. And now with the digital twin, with the connectivity, with all this cyber and AI, everything is moving, everything is changing, everything is learning. And now the question,
fast.
Yeah, in seconds, in milliseconds.
Yes.
And now the question comes, how I do the job that I have done 150 years ago, how I ensure the steam engine, how I ensure a system of systems of digital twins that are moving around and doing the right things. What is the right thing now? And
see, what's so interesting about it, and is that we're doing a good job at saying, hey, business, you need to be a part of this digital stuff. You got to get your business digitized, whatever it might be. What does that look like? I don't know. I'm a manufacturer. You need to do it. But then you also need to ensure that it's safe.
Yes.
That it's trustworthy. It's secure. It's got all of that stuff. Okay, I do it, and you don't want to. That's what you do, right?
But that's what I'm here, and I think a special thing is that we have to bring and that's what the Digital Twin Consortium is doing. You have to bring different people doing different experiences on this field together, and then I came out this session today. It was awesome because somebody did it already and proved that a digital twin can ensure security, and that's what I like to drive. You need the right architecture, that something that most people don't understand. What is a twin? That this can.
Well, they will.
They have to, because it's the next big thing, I would say, after the internet. But it's important that we develop now the foundation. What do we need there? What kind of ingredients, capabilities that the twin can give us this what we need, safety, security, and let's call it the right product for our community. And now it's really complicated because a hospital needs different things than a transportation and so on. So you have to understand what are the fundamental topics and how you bring it down into the vertical. And then on the other side, what comes especially in Europe, you have regulation that some governments write, let's call it good regulation or a bad regulation. but they don't understand what technology is, let's call, developing at the moment. And that's why I'm here, and that's what I see, let's call it, to suit as a company. You have to bring these things together, that the regulation will develop in a direction that what we see as a technical solution, it's exactly that what you have to do in the future to ensure complicated, complex systems that becoming like animals, they will learn, they will behave, they will change, they will become very smart and very clever.
See, you guys live in this world, and I love it. I mean, I'll eat this up. I'm a sponge. Come learn with me. But the reality is that if I was the manager of this property, and somebody came to me, Digital Twin, okay, why is that important? Well, you get to do X, Y, Z. That's why it's important. It's a blah, blah, blah. I get some insights. Where do I start? You know?
That's a very good question. I think you have to start with the problem. I think you have with you building some problems that you cannot really resolve as of today. If it is the energy consumption, if it is something else, and then you have to say, okay, if we would have a digital twin of some of your data, and then you have a model and information, we could analyze what the people are doing, at which point I switch on, I switch off, and you optimize energy consumption. You optimize other topics, but you need the data and you need a model. And what most of the people don't get, if you don't have the model, you don't have a reference. A lot of people say, okay, I need data. Data is the future, whatever. But I have to, let's call, compare the data or the information against what? And then I can say it's good, it's bad, what to do.
Right.
The digital twin gives me some model, and even if the first model is maybe not perfect, now I compare the model with the real world. And I learn, sometimes I have to update my model.
Well,
because
you adjust. You adjust. But that's the beauty of having that model.
Yes.
You continue to refine it, you make it better and better and better and better.
Every day, every minute I make it better. But now the regulation comes in and the regulation says, you have to be complete and safe and secure even before you start. But now the model learns and the asset learns. So how you ensure this? How you make the steam engine that they not explode?
See, and the question what I have is, well, how? How do you do that? What are the tools that say, yep?
I think the tools the tools are that you first accept that this world is complex, the world is changing, the world is incomplete, and that the architecture, what we have to bring into the world, so the model talks to the asset, and there's a kind of feedback loop. And if you go then deeper into what I'm doing, testing, functional safety, the highest test coverage you achieve if you take a good model and your asset and they test against each other. What is a digital twin? It's doing this testing all the time. So now this testing, what I do today, 1 minute, I do every milliseconds continuously. Where's my problem? But then you have to develop the digital world exactly that you can do this.
And you bring up a good point, because once you have a digital twin and you're testing it against it, then it takes into consideration that if there are any changes that are taking place with the asset, the physical building, it's just automatically reflected in the digital twin, and then there's there's a disconnect.
Yes.
Okay, so what do we do, and how do we resolve that? That's interesting.
I think that exactly the topics now, we have to develop the digital twin in a way that you have this feedback loop, what we call in the consortium, the changes of the building coming in the twin, and the twin is then, let's call, giving something back to the building. And if this loop works, then you say, okay, I'm in sync. If the loop doesn't work, you are not in sync, and then
you've got some call to action, and you're like, hey,
exactly.
Let's figure it out.
As of today, somebody has to figure it out. But as long as it is in sync, it is safe, it is secure, and it's doing the right things. And so the testing that we do today, 1 hour, 1 week, whatever, I do continuously. So therefore I said, guys, don't become nervous. If we implement this digital world in the proper way, we have the countermeasures to ensure the things that we have to ensure.
And of course, we're still at the very beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just like, we got it. We're creating all of the information, or all of the standards and actions around all of that, because we know that eventually it's just...
It's like, I think from the feeling, it's like all the steam engine explode around me.
Right.
And we are flying into Austin, Texas to the Digital Twin Consortium to think about, okay, what is the right countermeasures? And we meet here a lot of people say, oh, this could be the right one, this could be the right one. And we are at the beginning. But that's why I'm here. That's what we are driving. That's what Pursuit is driving, to think about how we make the community safe and secure, and how to utilize technology to do it for us.
And see, what's interesting too is the fact that when we start talking digital twin, it's all, everything's a digital.
Yes.
Everything can be digitized into a twin.
Yeah, and we need, and this is what a lot of people, I think today, most people don't understand why I need a digital twin. I think in 5 years, you will not sell any product without a digital twin, because then it's unsecure, it's unsafe, and the twin gives you this feedback loop if it's designed in a proper way. And by this concept, working twins together, we had yesterday the discussion, if 100 twins deliver me a result, 100 twins giving me the same value, the value is correct. Today, we have one sensor somewhere and we trust that this sensor is correct. Yeah. One sensor, it's never correct. Right. But if the twins deliver me 100 different, let's call the same value, it has to be correct. So it's the physics of nature that is behind what we are doing, and we have to understand and learn and translate this physics of nature into now law, regulation, requirements, because at the end of the day, if you go in a building, you have to trust that the elevator goes up and down, and we are still engineers.
See, this is, and God, if everything is in a digitized form, we're just going to take it for granted eventually.
Yes, we will, like with the internet and the mobile phones, we will in 10 or 20 years. I think that it's another discussion that we all have. Or you know the terms metaverse and omniverse, and for some things you think, okay, it's fancy stuff, but if you take the 3D out and say, I don't need the 3D, but if you take the same concept, for every piece surrounding me, I have a twin, and this twin takes care that the operation is correct, the maintenance is correct, the security is achieved. Yes, if you bring it all in the metaverse, you would see it. You could, let's call, virtually do a lot of things, and we will see also a lot of solutions there. But I'm coming from the regulation, from the safety, and say we need the concept first to manage the complexity. And if you think about energy, distributed, decentralized energy, if you think about autonomous driving, and all these things have to be controlled, and the principles have to be similar and the same.
The other thing that I want to make sure that we don't miss out on, say, have this digital twin. This digital twin itself is a sophisticated representation of something physical.
Yes.
Okay, you got it. It's sophisticated, and it is. If you're engaged in it, so you're constantly refining it and making it better. So good. That's good stuff. But then there's this need to secure it too, to ensure that nobody just can pop in. That this becomes really important, and it needs to be protected. And so there's that trustworthy. You've got to be able to make sure that that's trustworthy, even though there could be a disconnect. Is that still trustworthy?
We have a lot of topics in front of us. On one side, we are working on what kind of qualification, what kind of testing do we need for the model at day one, at the life cycle. So that has to be developed, because the model is now very important. It is more important than the real world, because if the models are not correct, or if you cannot trust the model, then the complete concept doesn't work.
It falls apart.
And this is why we are here and sitting together. So if we go in the direction of the digital twin, we have to develop the criteria. What is a good model? How I qualify a model? How I ensure that the model cannot be hacked ongoing? But there's a let's call it physical principle in what I would say. If you have a complicated robot, a machine, whatever, a toaster, and you have a model, and you like to hack and attack both, that I don't see it. You have to do it in real time at the same moment in time, and nobody can do it, because this is a machine, this is a model. So at least this concept gives us the transparency something is happening. And then, and we had the discussion, you get it, this digital twin says something is wrong. It could be a security attack, but you get a message immediately. Today, some companies memorize 3-6 months later that they had an attack, and then they say, what should we do? And this is the first step. The second step is we have to spend then some effort in the consortium and together. how we, let's call it, ensure the proper environment for the models. Same topic. I think there is, I told it to a colleague, there is no 100% security and safety, and that's what we are saying. This system is resilient. It goes down, it realizes and it comes back. Millisecond later, some functions are not there because something has happened. We say, no, we don't trust this functionality or capability, but we are not allowed that our city, our community goes down and has a blackout. So therefore, we have to, let's call it, work exactly at the right moment in time and then do the right things with the topics that are attacked.
I mean, this is all great stuff, and really very happy with the fact that you and the organization are really tackling these questions. You meet quarterly,
yes.
And you get to sort of noodle on it for a quarter, and then you get to talk about it some more, and you keep on refining it, and you keep on having the question. Are we at a point right now where we are actually seeing it in operations? Like this property, if it would be great if this was digitized in a twin way, and then I have all my lights and sensors and HVAC and whatever it might be.
You have a lot of things that we discussed. I think I will not. There's one famous car manufacturer in North America that is focused on e-mobility. Yeah. There are a lot of twins in, and they are working perfectly, and therefore the charging station is free for you if you join and so on.
Right.
There are others, though. We had this discussion, the definition of a twin and what is already implemented, and what we can take as a use case, a test case. Somebody came in and presented, this is my architecture I implemented in energy solutions 2 years ago, it is a twin. So, but they never called it a twin, but they have the model and they use the model. So you have if something comes up in innovation, then you have, let's call, a lot of topics that people believe they understand what is a twin, and then some people have the twin already in production and usage, but they call it different.
A different lexicon.
It's a different. And now we bring this in this community here together and say, okay, what we already have, we have proven it. So I flow into Austin and thought, my idea is new to say the twin will take care about safety and security. I came out of a presentation 20 minutes ago. I said, we developed a twin, and the twin addressed all the security attacks. And we have it in production since 2 years.
See?
So this is why you have to bring collaboration. You have to bring the people together.
So cool.
And then you say, okay, if you have it, then you have the reference that I can drive to standardization. Now I can convince others in Japan and Korea this is the way to go, because fly into Austin and look to this guy. He did it.
This is exciting. Do you get excited about this stuff?
Yes.
This is exciting stuff, man. I'm telling you, I'm jacked about it. I'm glad you're doing this. I'm glad people at OMG and all of the consortiums are doing it, and all of the little sub-work groups and everything. You know my only regret? I feel like I'm too old. I want to be younger now.
Yes.
I want the
Me too.
fountain of youth. Yeah, all right. How do people get a hold of you there? How do people contact you?
LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, Detlev Richter.
Cool. All right, man. That's Detlev. You were great. I really enjoyed that. All right, we're going to wrap it up on the other side. Thank you very much for joining. Again, you need to reach out with Detlev, so stay tuned. It will be all out on Industrial Talk, so see you soon.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right, you know your call to action. Your call to action is to reach out to Detlev. It is imperative. It is so important that we create a trustworthy foundation in all of this digitalization. And individuals like Detlev, the consortium, Digital Twin Consortium, the focus on a security platform, it's so important, because I know if I was running a manufacturing business and I didn't trust it to go into this whole digital world, I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't want to bring on that headache. So you need to get engaged. You need to start being a part of OMG. You need to consider looking at Digital Twin Consortium, and by far, reach out to Detlev in a big doggone way. All right. Industrial Talk is building a platform dedicated to you. We have so much out there. Your story needs to be told. You need to reach out to me. Tell your story. All right, be bold, be brave, dare greatly. Hang out with Detlev. and you're going to change the world. We're going to have another great conversation coming from OMG shortly, so stay tuned.